Welcome to the Bayou City Soccer Podcast. Whether inside or outside the loop, we are talking everything soccer in Houston. Y'all ready? Let's get it. Hey everyone, welcome back to another segment of the Orange Talk brought to you by Bayou City Soccer, where Houston soccer lives. I am your host, Rudy, Segura, and today we're diving into the heart of Houston Dynamo 2 with head coach Marcelo Santos. Thanks for joining us today, Coach.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure, Rudy.
The team is fresh off a thrilling shootout win over Sporting Kansas City, Marcelo. Heading into a demanding stretch of road games. I want to talk to you about, the player development, the roster additions, scouting with Nick Kova, and what it takes to keep this young squad competitive and growing. So let's get into it, Coach. You've added some exciting new players to the squad recently. Tomas Romero from Argentina, Academy forward David Garcia, Colombian defender Juan Viveros. Can you walk us through what each of these guys brings to the table and, what are you hoping to see from them this season?
Yeah, they're very distinctive players. Obviously, Garcia and Tomas, similar position, but different profile, different age as well. But we see, I'll start with Garcia. We see someone that is very passionate about the game, someone that has a really good work ethic and ambition. Obviously done really well with the Venezuela U17 national team. So he's someone that we wanted to invest and work for the future. I think he is still working through to be an impact player at this level, but he has the qualities that we're looking to players. The other two being a little older, Tomas is 21 years old. I'm sorry, Tomas is 20 years old. He's a 05. He has a lot of speed, strength, but has some qualities like Garcia as well. As a competitor, I joked the other day saying that he's a typical Argentinian, obviously coming from Brazil. A lot of people know what that means, but what I mean about that is there's a hunger there. The game means a lot, obviously for the South Americans from Argentina, and he's no different. So we're excited about that. And Juan is also exciting because he's a profile we don't have in the second team. He's the type of Griffin Dorsey from the first team, attacking outside back with stamina to go up and down, like to take people on. So it will give a different dynamic to our group. So we're very excited with all those three players join our group.
And I guess going a little deeper on, start with David Garcia, being one of the academy kids from the system, how do you approach developing that young talent like him, especially as you mentioned with the more experienced international players?
Yeah, no, it's key, right? Because one of the things for the academy players is see a future for themselves. And when they see players from the academy doing it, and they've been playing with them for a few years, they can start thinking, oh, that could be me. So the ambitions become more reality. And obviously we want to give opportunity to our own. That's very important for the community as well, to support the club and the team. So we always going to give opportunity for the guys from our academy to not only play in the second team, but become professional in the second team and potentially to the first team.
Yeah, and I guess on that note, bringing in players, can you talk a little bit about the partnership, you have with maybe Nick Kova? How do you guys go about identifying and bringing in talent for this team?
Yeah. We have our department, scouting. Sebastian Romero does a really good job identifying, but we also have a lot of scouts outside the country that keep us constantly informed. So it's a very thorough process that we go through. Identify them first, start to always envision them if they can be a first team player, and then connect with the club to find out who they are as people, because it is not easy to bring guys from outside the country, and even if they're if their talent is up there, there is adjustment period, and for us to get the right player in is very important. And I think we do a fantastic job. Nick is also involved with myself, and to be honest, they lead the process. I'm just there supporting and giving my opinion as a different perspective.
All right, coach. That we've gotten to know a little bit of the new guys and kind of that process. Want to rewind a little bit and talk about the Sporting Kansas City match. It had it all. Obviously, ends with a penalty shootout where Pedro Santos makes a big save, and you guys were flawless on their kicks, not one miss. What stood out to you the most from that performance?
Yeah, I think we played a very good game. I think we started really strong. It faded out a little bit in the first half, and obviously giving up the goal at the end was a little bit disappointing. But I think what I like about this group is the ability to rebound from setbacks, you know. So we give up the goal in the second half. We start really, really strong again. And I think we control the game, got the goal early, push, created chances to win a game. But you know what we talk after the game, soccer is a cruel game, and sometimes you're the better team and you don't win, and sometimes it's the other way around. So we just need to focus on the things we can control, which we have been focused on trying to be more simple with the ball to create rhythms and work for each other. And I think if you look at the game, those are the things you saw pretty easy.
And obviously, Sporting Kansas City 2 went down to 10 men for a good chunk of the second half. And eventually, Lionel also got a second yellow right at the end. But, what kind of things do you take away from, you've mentioned a little bit the team performance, but just with the shift of momentum throughout the game, what can you take away from this?
Yeah, it's a first time for us this season, so the game changed. Sometimes you become over aggressive because the other team is playing down, and then you make mistakes out of the back, or you put too much pressure on yourself and you cannot generate anything. I think the guys made it very difficult for them to counter on us. We try to play the game as simple as possible. The spaces were in wide areas, and we created that. The goal we scored was going through the middle. So I think the guys managed really well, especially for a young squad. I was pretty pleased how they did it. We were able to make subs earlier. We have a couple games coming up, so it's going to be a stretch week for us. And the guys that came in maintained the level. We're able to put Mike Holiday and Juan Viveros on the field at the same time, change their position slightly, but giving them a little bit of freedom to attack more. So all those stuff is on the fly, and I think the group managed it really well, those momentum shifts, and we're happy to get the 2 points at the end.
Yeah, personally, I love watching the team perform because I feel like you never know what's gonna happen. You do a good job of like shifting players and movement during the game, and obviously like to set up each game. But when it comes to the situation with Lionel's red card, obviously young guy, how do you coach guys through moments of pressure and decision making like that? What can we teach them?
Yeah, I think those are very valuable moments. I think we obviously have to use the emotion for them to remember those moments and hopefully not do it again. And I think if they learn from the opportunity, it's always going to be important in their long career they will have. With Leo in particular, he comes in the game with the right intention to change the game, and maybe the emotion got a little bit of the best of him, you know. So I spoke with him a little bit. I think all of us know what we should do differently. So it's not about me telling him, hey, here is what you should do, but just let him know that we support him. And as long as he's working to improve in those decisions and don't allow those things to carry him away in the future, I think we'll be okay with it.
Yeah, definitely big emotions in that one for sure. But now there's really no time for you guys to rest. Let's talk about the road ahead. if I'm not mistaken, four straightaway matches starting this week. You've got a tough stretch coming up with starting, I believe, on Thursday, right? How do you keep the group locked in with such tight schedule and all that travel that you need to do, Marcelo?
Yeah, we try to focus on the next game. So even though there's four away games and a short turnaround into Real Monarchs, our focus is in the first game, and we have I think 18 to 20 players that could start for us. So that's a good problem to have. And the fact that we have two games, it is even better because we don't have to think too hard. We give opportunity to some in the first game and maybe rotate a little bit in the second game. So we have guys that are fresh, hungry, and we're able to compete our best. We know away is a little bit different in terms of dealing with the pressure the other team puts. Sometimes they have a different lineup because it has a flexibility for first team to put players down. But for us, it doesn't change. And I think what we did in Kansas City and even in Austin, it's a blueprint to what we want to continue to do it. So hopefully we can do in the next few matches.
Then you mentioned Minnesota United, their first up Thursday night. So here, pretty quick. What kind of team are they? And what do you feel your team, D2 needs to do well in this matchup?
Yeah. They are a very aggressive team, physical by nature. They started the season with heavily influenced by first team players coming down. And when they played us here, they got the best of the game. They definitely deserve to win the game. But lately, they have gone away from that. And I think they rely more on guys that are second team players and some from the academy. So obviously there's a big shift when you do that. And they play the same way. I would say like it will be a very difficult game for us. But lately they didn't get the result they got early in the season. So it will be an opportunity for us to challenge them and see what the mindset is. But I think in terms of what the game should look like, it should be a very competitive and physical game, and that's what we expect out of them.
Yeah, and I know you take a game by day. My next question would be maybe what you expect of real Monarchs. I know that you probably have studied them already, maybe not in full detail, but anything that you want to talk about the challenges that you may expect from them as well.
Yeah, so I think with Monarchs, it is a completely different challenge. They are a team that really wanted to play, and with that come mistakes, right? But when you ask team to play, and if they're their best, it could be a long day as well, right? So I think they're much more in the developmental space that they're going to ask that their team to play in a certain way, and our job is to make them uncomfortable and try to make those good ideas become potential mistakes, which you're not going to see in Minnesota. Minnesota is very pragmatic, and you have to get what you earn there. So it's a little bit of a different challenge between the two games.
Some big tests coming up for you guys. Before we let you go, Coach, I want to zoom out a little bit and talk about the bigger picture for D2 this season. Starting with, we spoke last time about losing Diego and having somebody to step up. It looks like Sebastian is doing that. It looks like Rodrigo's is stepping up. Just talk to about him a little bit, about the leadership that you've seen so far.
Yeah, I think Sebastian, in particular, the last two games have found uh, where his space will come and what we're going to need of him in terms of leadership. I think he's comfortable leading the way he has done in the last few games after the shift. And we don't want to put extra pressure on him and act like he should be what Diego was for us. The different people, Diego is a little older, so hopefully naturally he'll grow into that captain role more and more as we go into games and later on the season. But as a player, we want him to continue to show how good he can be, not only for us, but for the league as well, and potentially first team minutes in the future, near future, because we really believe that's where he should be pushed himself to. It's a player that um, does a lot of good things for us, but we always looking for things that should be a little bit better or a little quicker, and so on. So we wanted to continue ask him to perform at his best and rub it off his performance into the other guys.
Yeah, he looks good out there. That's for sure. Taking a big step. Last one, coach. You've got a really promising group right now. Some strong performers, new talent coming in. A lot of development happening for you guys. But what's been most exciting to you about this season so far, coach?
The most excited for me has been all the changes we have gone through. I think for our guys, they have embraced whatever challenge we have put in front of them. I told the group the other day that we started the season with a heavily involved with the academy players, the really young ones, Lucas, Brugman, Matteo Di Morelli, and uh, the Daniel Barrett. Daniel Barrett. They were very, they were playing 90 minutes for the first two games. And then obviously when we got Josh Boma and Steve Arnaud back, the team got a little bit of a balance, and we became another team. And then losing Diego and Felipe and Jordi, we become another team. And I think for the guys, they are taking the challenge the way it comes. It doesn't bother them. They show resilience every game. I think the last three games, we gave up a goal early and we're able to come back. And that's what's exciting me, because if you have that mentality that you're gonna work for what you're gonna get, you're always gonna have a chance to be successful. And for me, that's the mentality I would like the group to continue.
That's awesome. Coach, thank you once again for your time. It's always a pleasure.
My pleasure, Rudy. It's always nice talking to you guys, and I hope the team continue to help the community to support.
Awesome. That's a wrap on today's conversation with Coach Marcelo Santos. Big thanks for him again for joining us during this busy week. If you're following Dynamo 2, don't miss the upcoming road matches. It's a huge stretch for the team. You've been listening to Orange Talk from Bayou City Soccer, where Houston soccer lives. Thank you.